Welcome to LORGAR Rankings, an official CS2 VRS tournament by LORGAR in cooperation with StarLadder, featuring rising teams from Eastern Europe. Through national qualifiers and regional broadcasts, the tournament connects players and fans across Eastern Europe. Poland, Ukraine, Romania, and many more European regions. The largest Tier 2 Counter-Strike tournament in Eastern Europe, showcasing top talent and delivering global exposure to millions of viewers. The road to the championship unfolds across multiple competitive stages: national qualifier to closed qualifier to LAN Finals. The closed qualifier begins with the group stage, running from March 20th to March 29th. 16 teams compete across 4 groups. After intense best-of-3 battles, the top 2 teams from each group move forward. Next comes the play-in stage, taking place April 6th to April 10th. 8 contenders clash in a double elimination bracket, with every match played as a best-of-3. Only 4 teams survive the play-in, earning their place in the final stage. The LAN Finals take place from April 25th to April 26th. 8 teams compete on the final stage. 4 play-in champions facing 4 invited teams from the European VRS rankings. All matches will be played in a single elimination best-of-3 format. 2 days of high-stakes Counter-Strike. The best players from across Eastern Europe competing for glory. And a $50,000 prize pool on the line. Stay tuned and watch the action live.
LORGAR rankings continue as we're already halfway through the closed qualifiers. We've already seen the teams that made it through from Group A and Group B and carry their way through this series, but we still have another couple of groups to take care of. My name is Pavlos, and I've got Ted to break down the action with me today, and it's the same for the next few days, but you know, we may have a few other casters jump in here and there. Ted, I mean, we've already seen a lot of action yesterday. I feel like we've already got a bit of a taste of what is in store for us for the next few days.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're halfway through the group stage. Obviously, this close qualifier consists of a group stage with 4 groups, 4 teams each, which is 16, not 14. Maths is a little bit difficult, I guess. And then we've got the play-in, which is double elimination bracket. We're already done with groups A and B, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about what happened there. We've got Kaleshi and the Rottweilers getting out of group A. The one group where we had just one 3-mapper, Fighters and Diamond eSports. Other than that, everything was a 2-0. A lot of the games were very, very one-sided.
Yeah, I guess we thought Rottweilers would have an easier time against Diamond, and that would have been one-sided as well. Not quite the case. Had a harder time as we move on to Group B, where Inner Circle Academy and Mix KS were the ones to make it through. Big surprise there. I think many would consider ESC Gaming as one of the favorites coming into this tournament, you know, coming in especially as a 2nd seed. They did get knocked out, and yeah, it was in a reverse sweep fashion as well. They won the first map, and then Mix KS decided, yeah, enough fun here, and they took over. Now, though, we're looking at 2 other groups, right? Ones that we haven't quite explored just yet. Let's start looking at Group C, where obviously we have ourselves Unity, Quad 4, Basement Boys, and Bondi. Now, look, there are some more familiar names, and there are some unknown names here, Ted. I think we've got our favorites.
Yeah, we do. We have 2 teams that are standing out a little bit more. Obviously, it's going to be Unity and Basement Boys, right? We kind of talked about it before the start of the event as well. The Basement Boys is a team of players that are very problematic to be taken down on LAN in particular. Obviously, these are not the guys that we're going to be watching today. Today, we are focusing only on one best-of-3, Pavlos. This is the main difference between the other days and today. We've got just one game, but tomorrow we're gonna have 3 best-of-3s on offer. For now, we're gonna be starting it off with Unity in Qual 4, and over at Group D, I think it's a pretty similar story where you have a bunch of teams that you favor. Although I would say maybe out of all the other groups, even though maybe HYPERSPIRIT is the most recognizable name, and you have ASTRAL and you have Drama, I think here there is a pretty decent balance when it comes down to the teams. It's probably the most unpredictable group, this one.
Yeah, anything can really happen there. Not that anything can't happen in other ones. We've seen some upsets already take place in LORGAR rankings, but let's talk about the game we have at hand. Unity and Qualifier, we've already touched upon it. As you can see in the bottom left and bottom right, respectively, Unity representing the Czech Republic banner and Qualifier Romania. If you've only just joined us here at the LORGAR rankings, this is a focused tournament on Eastern Europe as well, right? So you'll see a lot of talent from these particular countries. Let's talk a little bit about the known entity of the two, right? Unity, a team that has been around the block, has had plenty of, you know, decent performances. Even out of Unity, the players, we're very familiar with them, right? From the Czech Republic, whether they, you know, made their way through Sinners or any other Czech Republic, Czechian team, if you will. I'm a little bit concerned about their recent results, though, Ted, right? Sure. I feel like they haven't been able to scrap too many victories. And for a team that, you know, and some players that I have close to my heart that I really enjoy, you know, watching, that's a bit concerning for me.
Yeah, it is a little bit underwhelming. I feel like it was to be expected when you're looking at Marisko, Neofrag, and Mikey being on the same team. You know, all of them respectively being star players on some of their previous projects is a little bit difficult to combine all of that, and they have been losing a lot, which we're going to talk about later on. On the other side, we have a young Romanian squad of 4 players that don't have an HLTV profile. The only one that does have one is Kickdown, who's 19 years old, and he has 1 game on HLTV on record from the 7th of December 2024. So I guess it's fair to say for these guys at least, this is a great opportunity. The fact that they make it into a close qualifier like this, they make it all the way through the open qual. Obviously, they didn't get a VRS invite because they have no VRS points. But for a bunch of young Romanian players that are very unfamiliar, very unknown quantities, to get to play against a team that has a lot of these big experienced names, but they're not in a great shape, is actually a phenomenal part of experience. You know, this is how you grow up as a player. This is how you learn. So yeah, even though they are the heavy underdogs going into a game like this, it's a good chance for them to show us something good.
Map time, baby. Let's see where these two teams head for in this best of 3. Like you said, we'll be seeing the birth of a few new HLTV pages today, which is cool to see. I think both of us have got an HLTV page, right, Ted?
Yeah, no games there. One. No, I don't
have any games there, but I do have a profile.
Oh, you do? Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. You even have a bunch of pictures.
Yeah, funny picture. The one that was chosen as my favorite.
Yeah, you have a picture with Golden. I don't have a profile picture in HLTV, you know. Yeah.
Well, next time you'll get it, I'm sure. Ancient, Inferno are your picks here. Unity deciding to go for the Inferno. You know, I'm looking at the bans there. I feel like that's where you kind of need to focus on. What do you really ban if you're Unity? Right, you don't really have too much information to go off of. You probably want to go for the ones that you just go with your permaban to play for.
I think you just play to your strengths. You just remove what you don't want to play. You pick what you want to play. Yeah, don't overcomplicate it. Don't think about it too much. You're the better team. You're the favorite. You should be 2-0ing this, so it doesn't really matter. And also, even if you want to make a little bit of research, what are you going to make the research based off of? The open qualifier for this is probably the only record that you have of these guys, right? So yeah, I think if you are Unity, you just want to have a little bit of fun. You go into the server, you take it seriously, you play as if, you know, it doesn't really matter who you're up against. Just focus on your own game, which is the cliche, the most trivial answer that all players give before important games. Just think about our own game and focus on that. But I really think this is the way to go when you are the favorite in the way that they are in this game.
Well, it looks like pistols have been equipped. It's time to get going for that all-important pistol around the start of the game, although I might be getting ahead of myself as we're waiting to jump into this game. Ted, we've had a lot of surprising results so far, maybe not in series, but in the manner that these games are going through. You know, there are a lot of players that have, you know, a lot of skill, and sure, there's not massive maturity in terms of experience from what we've witnessed. But you know, if you have some crack players on a team and you're able to disrupt your opponents, play with your own pace, be explosive, don't give your opponents chances to react, anything can happen, and that's what Qualifier are looking for in this one. They are taking on the T side as the Czechian side is the CT, and we're breaking things through on this best of 3 series, starting on Ancient.
Yeah, opening best of 3 of this group is obviously the C group of things in Unity. Looking like the heavy favorite Kefita going to open things up with that aggro peek in towards A main. Pistol round still navigated towards him. Qualifier with the Sharingan logo, by the way. I just noticed. That's a Materasu. For those of you that have not watched Naruto. You know what that does, Pavlos? Have you watched Naruto?
I have not. I've probably watched like 1-2 episodes of Shippuden, but nothing more than that.
So when you use this particular eye, it creates a black flame that cannot be extinguished.
Well, right now, Qual 4 are on flames, but in a good way. Can Neofrag bring out the extinguisher? Morisco can, but Kefita has to lose his life in the process. This is close, 2v2. Morisco trying to play around the site, but the bomb, albeit ticking, you can't quite get on it. Morisco's got the kit, so you don't really want to get away from the site all too much unless you die, which is exactly what happens. Kick down with the double by the end, Qual 4 with a pistol.
All right, this is nice out of kick down. A nice little triple kill coming out of the, as we said before the start, the only one with an HLTV profile, but that was not a bad pistol round. You lose the first player, you still don't change the plan, you commit to the A play. You take down Kefita, you win a couple more fights, and there was some good patience being shown in the post plan there, especially in that 2v2.
When I look at Kickdown's picture, it's a very nonchalant vibe he's giving out as well.
Yeah, he is given the vibe of someone that knows what a Materasu is. In a powerful way, you know. You know how people say that when you have an anime profile picture on FACEIT, that actually helps you, or on Steam? It makes you better.
I've heard that before, yeah.
Yeah. They've just, you know, taken this to an entirely different level. The anime profile picture is their team's profile picture.
Nice mow down for the first two, but a potential rifle upgrade available for Woozy if he deems it like a good idea. The pistols, though, on this A site, are proving to be difficult to manage. However, you found yourself an AK. I wonder if you make the choice to save it. Morisco, if he ends up getting a pick, there may be a possibility of going all in, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Morisco just biding his time. He's got info on one, and now remaining to figure out where Levy is, and Woozy comes into the equation. Little by little, dwindling away in numbers. Qual 4 scrapping to stay in this, and Cordialis will be making sure Qual 4 do not slumber this one.
All right. These guys have come to play. You see the triple kill in the pistol round. Now another one of them steps up with a 1v2 clutch like this. And obviously both these players had no armors. That was just an eco round, but this is still going to make you feel a little bit better. A lot of rifles lost by the T side though, and that could be an issue. Massive save coming out of the young man. And judging by the fact that we're talking about a Romanian player, I will guess the pronunciation of the nickname should be Chordalis or something like this.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, because
so many times I tried to pronounce a name based on the language or the origin of the player, and so many times I was wrong.
Yeah, Chokerdao is very similarly spelled. He's a Romanian player as well.
Chordalis or Cordia?
No, I think it's Chordalis.
Chordalis. Either way, though, yeah. Unity, they find themselves a couple. That'll be the bomb part for Qual. In a really tough spot. No util. Just individualness. Second unable to get first kill of the game for him. And a fairly smooth buy round coming out from Unity, only losing Mickey in the process.
All right. Playing the game. This is actually funny, by the way, because they do have a teammate called Levy. And there was there is a player called Levy out of the Czechoslovakian region as well. Got kicked down, got Zeking. All right. But yeah, buy round wise, I guess this is what we were expecting, right? On the back of a very close pistol round, very close eco round with a lot of damage. You make this one look pretty simple, pretty clean, so the T's should not have a lot of money left. That's going to be the case. A Galil for kick down. Pistols for the rest. Another A play right out the bat, and Kefita spotted them, decides to stick around. You're going back.
They are. And Unity realize this because Kefita's gone for a little lurk of his own. Leaving Zaha behind. Couple of spare pieces of util. Might need these locking in. Deep smoke as well. Unity have gained so much ground control. The limited information for them kind of leaves Qual to be on the southern side of the map towards their spawn. They must realize that a double doors push is incoming. And that's exactly why they're stacking up even more players here. They've read this one like a book.
Yep. They would have loved to have one more smoke, but on 50 seconds, the T's will start making their way out. You've got a nade, you've got a bunch of flashes, you've got 3 players around. This is going to be tough to break through.
Nade first. Bullets next. The Zekking might have an open up, but the moment you start moving forwards, Morisco and Neofrag can barrage their bullets upon you. And albeit Kickdown being the most influential from Qualifiers so far this game, I'm afraid this one is too much to ask from him. There you go. Unity able to square things up quickly.
That's very well played out of Morisco. And yeah, even though you find the first kill and the first guy with the rifle slips the net and crosses in towards the B bomb side, the bomb was never going to be able to successfully join him. Morisco is one of the people that's going through a funky transition on this team, right? Remember how I said that Neofrag, Morisco, and Mikey are all star players usually? Morisco is the guy that needs to learn how to be a bit of an anchor on this team, on the CT sides, right? Whereas Neofrag and Mikey are still getting a lot of active spots. Neofrag is the #1 star. Morisco is actually one of the successors of Neofrag on Sinners a bunch of time ago, so now you see them on the same team. It is a little bit funny.
Yeah, it's like, who's best for which role at this point, right? That's where the conversation comes in. I mean, you've got to put them together.
I mean, they are very similar players, Mikey, Morisco, and Neofrag. I think Mikey is more of a don't send me in first on T side, but I can play on Refrag and I can be a star player on CT side. And I think Neofrag and Morisco are just straight up sharp players. It is interesting because they are very similar and very different, the three of them, in some senses, right? They have some minor differences, and it will be pretty intriguing to see if Unity can actually use that. It still does take a lot out of the Oper and out of the IGO when you have 3 people that demand some space in order to operate, though. And they're generally known for being aggressive players.
It's the tip of the fedora to the replay operator showing us that Neofrag didn't see a single one of the players he killed the previous round. Here comes Qualifiers push him to B. Morisco having to respect it, and into cave he hops. He's got Neofrag there to help him out if need be. And this spray down proves to be difficult to quench for Qual. At least they get ground control and bomb down. And got a late frag in the making. Zekking, though, does get discovered early. And with that, Unity don't lose a hint of damage and have got all of their players available for this. Levy fighting one. A good distraction for Zaha to jump in as well. But he's out in the open, exposed to all 3, and that's where Unity were able to pounce.
Yeah, this is very clean coming out of Unity. Very, very clean. You can see how Morisco realizes I've been blinded, I've been smoked off, they're already up the ramp. I don't really need to pick up the fight. We can focus on dealing with them in towards middle. They take down the elbow lurk, then they slow things down. They get another one on the smoke because of Morisco as well. Making these look very, very clean right now, Unity, ever since they got the guns out. There's the replay, a little bit unfortunate on the other side for Dallas. Been a while since we've seen a good individual highlight out of Qualifier. This is what I'm looking for here, Pavlos. I'm far from the idea that these guys are going to be able to, on the team level, be better than Unity. It's all about seeing who has the individual star power, you know? Who can shoot back.
That's fair.
Because there definitely will be a bunch of people that can shoot on this team. At least you'd hope.
I mean, for them to get here, shortly.
Yeah. Not these 2. Oh, maybe Zaha.
And Zekking.
Oh. All right.
Especially Zekking. All right. Tripling the kill count already, and maybe quadrupling it. Zekking. What a wonderful Tech 9 sequence. Pairs it up with an AK shot at the end. Provides Qual4 with a nice way back in the game.
How do they lose a 4v2 like this? It isn't losable, by the way. At least it should be. There's the work being done by Woozy. He drops the bomb. Does get refragged by the Glock, and then that double kill out of the Tech-9. This is the difference maker. Both Mike and Kefita just running their way in. No counter strafes from the second player either. They were just not ready for the angle. The Glock is able to get a kill and survive for such a long time towards the back of the bomb site. And a tactical timeout coming out of the mix. As we said, first HLTV official for 4 of these boys, and they've already been able to get 3 rounds off of Unity on the T side of Ancient. Of course, this is their own map pick. It's not the decision of Unity. That will be an Inferno, and we know that Inferno is looking pretty decent for the Czech side. Ancient, a map that they've played quite a bunch, actually. It is, in fact, their most played map since the start of the year for Unity. Unfortunately, it's not one that they've been winning a lot lately. 5 losses out of their last 6 games.
And he stayed quiet throughout the process as well. He can go all the way around. Thing is that Zaha is late arrival. Oh, and he misses him. Never mind.
Wow.
Could have been. Could have been. So, Unity now have been told to respect mid and have settled back. And it looks like they're taking a gamble approach to this, wanting to put most of their players in one particular corner of the map and trying to use that to their advantage. And I think they may have just made the right call. Look at where Qual4 are heading. Sure, they've got a minute. Sure, they could still go through spawn and B, but that's not where the bomb's heading. A site being the target. So Unity have left the B open for quite some time, are struggling for that information, suffocating from it.
It's just Woozy. He's alone. I mean, they don't have a lot of util, though. They don't have a single smoke, right? So unless they flash him off, he might be in a good spot to actually grab a couple, stay alive, and wait for his teammates to support him. It's all about whether he can deal with the mid player.
It's pressure from both ends.
Tough spot.
Gets the one, and now resurfaces. Whoa, he got mighty close to getting one more, but no, kick down. Scratches that one out. And Unity, I mean, you've got a decision here, and I think that it's looking more like a save. 3v4, sure, but this is a tough one, especially with Qual4 could have been anywhere. They could be deep in mid, they could be in red. There's just too many hurdles, and it'd take too much time.
I'm a little bit surprised that we've already seen them pick up 4 rounds, by the way. I know the eco was very, very good, and then they lost the pistol, but this is not looking too bad. They just play passively. They waited for Morisco. They've not really been contesting middle as much, or at least they didn't in this round. Wanted to go for the extremity aggression, but one player gets caught off guard, and then it felt like they didn't really have a set plan to react properly, right? It felt like it was a little bit all over the place for the CTs. Oper getting a highlight might have given him an opportunity, but it's still a big gamble. We're tied up already. You know, that would be the most shocking thing ever, because we did think that we've seen all the surprises possible over the course of the last couple of days. Imagine, Pavlos, a world where Qual4 get a map off of Unity. Just think about it.
That'd be mad.
Just think about it.
I mean,
how cool would that be?
I don't need to think too much about it, but yeah. If Qual4 do end up winning their
faking an A rush,
HLTV debut, they'll be looking at this VOD for days to come.
Walking out mid, it's not a bad idea. I mean, the CTs are not buying it, but you still have a solo player in Donut.
Not throwing the smoke down instantly. And Kefita is also blocked out. A bit late onto getting the rifle out there, Mickey. And therefore, Qual4 very quick to enter. And again, you're lacking the numbers here, Unity. You've got to find something in order to be relevant in the round.
They're not really reacting as much. Also, Mikey did seem like he was asleep there. You notice how he didn't even press mouse 1. He didn't even try to kill them, right? He was very slow to react to what was going on his screen. Also, they kind of knew what was going on. A split comes out, or A fake comes out. They know no one is really forcing the issue. Then they hear the re-smoking towards red on middle, so you know they're trying to walk out middle later on the timing after the fake. Mikey's still staying alone. The Temple player gets mollied, goes back, and there's no one else doing anything. They did push B, but they didn't really do anything with that information. It wasn't like the B players were able to get up heaven, go donut quickly. They were very far away. No one able to rotate back as a third player to support. It just feels like they're relying on one player getting a multi-kill to win them the round right now, Unity. It was the Oper in the previous one. It's Mikey this time around. If Mikey gets a double, you can go for the retake. If Uzi in the last round gets a double and towards donut, you can go for a retake. If they don't get these multi-kills, round is over. Was the bottom line, you probably didn't put yourselves in the best position ever. And this is starting to feel a little bit tricky
like
now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to
Nice.
interject there. Because it does,
No,
it
it's
does start to look like Inferno, let's be fair, saving simulator.
Oh, I
But-
thought you were making a different joke. I thought you were
about
making
it
the
all going
Inferno,
up in
you know,
flames, the
hell joke.
Inferno, the hell. And
Yeah,
that too. That too.
that's
It's,
where I thought you were going.
two-sided.
But yeah, I'd be very surprised if this is a team that struggles here. I know results have not been good.
Having a look at the profiles.
I know, yeah. He's doing the same. He's doing the same. But these are people that have a lot of experience, right? Especially if you're talking about Neofrag. I mean,
True.
Morisco, he played on the Sinners for around a year between the summer of 2024 and the summer of 2025. He was on Enterprise. He was on Entropic before that. Mikey, still just 22 years of age, was one of the brightest talents of the Slovakian scene just a couple of years ago when he was playing on eSuba. Then he joined Enterprise, then Unity, then eCloud, now again Unity. He had that tryout period with OG, and apparently things didn't work out. And Neofrag is the biggest name on this bunch. He's still only 24, Neofrag, by the way. It's the same Neofrag that dominated Tier 2 CS in 2020, 2021, 2022 with the Sinners. Went over to OG, went over to ITB. Then eCloud, then back to the Sinners, and now is on Unity. It's just a bunch of players that you feel like could achieve so much more, especially Neofrag and Mikey, I think, have had much bigger expectations towards them than what we've seen. Neofrag's potential a couple of years ago was you could just put your money on the fact that this guy would one day be playing Tier 1 Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it's funny how that didn't stick.
Nope.
At least not yet. I mean, we do know players that have kind of resurged later in their careers. But it
Sure,
definitely doesn't
yeah.
happen as often.
I think it's a little bit more difficult if you're not an IGL. If you are an in-game leader, maybe it could happen because the timer that you have as a young and rising player is not that limited, right? You can play a little bit more. But when you are the young aimer that is going in and headshotting people, and you have your time, that limited amount of time where you're a top 5 Tier 2 player in the world, I think you need to take very good advantage of that. It could
And
be
you
very
could take
difficult to
advantage
earn
of
another
LORGAR.
shot at it.
Presented by LORGAR, this tournament is, and you can get yourself some
Yeah.
anything you need for gaming, really. Microphones, peripherals. They've got you covered. Go check it out. Mikey. Aggro in mid. But forced out by a molly. Qual 4. Fancy seeing them being the lead already at a 5-4 situation. It will happen as well with Zekking on the Tech 9. Some standout moments from certain individuals from the Qual 4 roster. They seem to be capable of a couple of different paces as well. We've seen some rushes, we've seen some pushes down mid like we're seeing now, and the flash is superb. Was he forced off the corner and having to respect it further? Molly drop, but Unity triple stack in K. Flash up from Neofrag, kick down playing anti, and it's enough to stop the push. It's a standstill, but the pre-fire now needed. Do you expect Mikey there? The answer is no. But you need to be careful because Mikey's all by himself and there's also another front being confronted. He's able to break through. The must-win scenario gets going. Woozy with gun not in hands. And now it's a 2v2. What's going on?
Mikey's still low on HP as well. This is very tricky. Both Zekking and Zahar are full on HP, and they know exactly where Mikey was coming from. And now they're starting to feel where the second player is coming from as well. They feel no pressure from CT.
You do have Zekking looking that direction, but If no one appears once the smoke dissipates, you can start using more of your attention towards the site itself. And they realize there's not much time, even though both of them are kit. There's just a lot to do here and not much time to do it. Holy moly, guacamole.
Qualifier is 6-4 up against Unity on the T side of Ancient. Would you look at that? Yeah, of course there's going to be a smile on your face. Look at the Counter-Strike you're playing. You're just making these guys safe. These are people that have been in the conversations for some of the brightest talents in Europe. People that have played on teams like OG. You just went through an open qualifier. You put on a Mangekyo Sharingan as your team logo. You joined the server. One of your players having an HOTV profile because of one singular game. And you're making them safe. You're playing well against them.
Was the qualifier they got through was called Qualifier 4? And is that what they're basing their name off of? That'd be funny.
I am not sure if there was 4 qualifiers.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah,
to be fair.
They just went through. I think they just won the Romanian Open qualifier. You had one open qualifier. You had open qualifiers for a lot of countries, right?
Okay, gotcha.
You had a Hungarian one, you had a Bulgarian one, you had a Baltics one, you had a bunch of, I think, Balkan ones. But then you had Slovakia, you had Czech Republic, Ukraine.
Neofrag needed to do it here. Only one left standing on this A site, and you'd hate to have to save again. Going all in. No one approaching from Donut, therefore cover. Actually, I take that back. Levy gets intercepted. So 2-on-2.
Double chance. Yeah, you're not saving this time around, that's for sure.
Tapped. Zeki trying to cover. Neofrag, instead of dealing with the AWP, goes a step further. Now you know where Zeking is. But vice versa, the information there is on Morisco. So Zeking lines up the shot nicely. Never in trouble. Even though you're always under pressure, these rounds might be getting close, but it's Qual4 getting the better end of each and every one.
How are you doing today? How did you sleep yesterday, Unity? Because it doesn't really feel like you had a good night's sleep. These guys are just running around, having fun, winning clutches. You're trying not to get frustrated. You're trying not to tilt because you do realize you should still probably 2-0 this, but now they're 4-7 up. 3 rounds between you. Could be getting 8.
I mean,
and it's good team effort out of the T's, by the way. It's not 1 or 2 of them. It's all of them that are having good moments.
Sure, it's a GSL format. Sure, it's a double elim bracket in the group stage. You still have a second chance, but goodness sake, we saw ESC fall victims to a double elim bracket loss as well. So Unity, I'm sure they'd hate to get there. I know this is only the first map of the series, but Qual4 really putting in a dent.
Yeah,
now they might be walking into
just the first
quite a heavy side.
They will get chances to bounce back into this, even into this one map, especially if they get 5 rounds here. But it's been a good shift so far from Qual4. Good stuff coming out of Neofrag. Refrag in towards the ramp. Another one in towards the cave. Flash in. No one to be spotted, but that is audible. Has been communicated, and Levy's been spotted out. They still have one player making his way in towards red. This is something Kefira should be wary of. It's all about how much space can these players in towards B create for him, right? They're the ones that need to create opportunities for their teammate right now.
Unity need to win this last round of the half. And Zeking's position, certainly the linchpin. About to be confronted by Kefira. Or not. This is going to be awkward to check. It has to be cleared. Oh, but it's a lazy peek. Mikey winning his own individual fight. That has provided just enough time for punching in the digits, but other than that, does get eliminated, and Unity do close out the final round of the half.
Yeah, that was much needed. Evading a bit of a crisis here, Unity. Are they not getting 5 rounds? You're keeping yourselves in touching distance, but a 4-8 deficit definitely would have been a bit of a surprise. Now you are moving to the T side where things could still be a little bit complicated, but we were talking about how much depth they should have when it comes down to possibilities for aggression on the T side. You have a lot of aggressive players, meaning you could go for a lot of different stuff, depending on who's feeling it more. It feels like Neofrag's feeling it. Mikey had a couple good moments as well himself.
Well, now we get to see if Qualifier can keep it up on the CT side. Some teams do enjoy being the ones in control.
I suspect this one will be a little bit more difficult for them.
Yeah, that's exactly why we bring it up. Kick down, having some difficulty on the drop. And some simple collections by the check-in side. They don't really commit to the B side. They know that Mikey's gone deep on A. Well, either site they choose, they still will only deal with one more. But Jordalis ends up getting caught eventually without finding any pick. And Levy, now he's on 3 points of health as well, so not looking on the up here for the Romanian squad. But they did.
By the way, someone put a very funny message in chat, Pavlos, and I want to share with you. Someone said that Zaha looks like someone from Death Note. Have you watched Death Note?
Oh, yes, I have, but what, I've forgotten the names. Is it, you're not...
No,
you're not talking about
like,
Ryuk, right?
Well, I'd say it's just more of a type of vibe thing, I think what they meant.
The vibe.
Yeah, you just look at him and he looks like someone who would be on Death Note, you know?
Yeah,
he'd fit in nicely.
I see that, yeah.
Yeah.
I do see that. Okay, spot on, person in chat. It was a great series, apart from the ending.
Yeah, the ending I think was a little bit weird. I agree.
It's like, come on, dude! It was one of the best seasons ever, and then all of a sudden, sorry, yeah, it was a fart.
I think I think it was all right. All in all, very very good. Yeah, recommend to watch.
I wouldn't say don't watch it because of the
no,
last
yeah.
No.
If anything, Game of Thrones' ending was much worse.
Honestly, I stopped watching before the end.
Yeah,
so can't comment on
choice. That. Good choice that is. Oh, Unity will make their way to an empty bomb site. You know what? This is an anti-eco. They plant the bomb, they'll get the round. We're going to be tied up, so I'll use the time. I'll ask you, what's your favorite series of all time?
You can't do this, man.
No,
it's like asking your favorite song, favorite series of all time. Bloody hell. Oh, I've been put on the spot. I love watching TV shows. What's my favorite? Give me a genre. Okay,
a genre
sitcom.
for a series. Okay, no.
Like,
Just
sitcom,
a series.
How I Met Your Mother.
No, not
Easy.
a sitcom.
I don't know, man. Oh, yeah, I do. Sherlock. The BBC one.
Okay.
I know people hate on it not really being a documentary, and not documentary, detective series, because you can't realistically figure out who the killer is yourself. But I really like the acting, the music, the cinematography. I love it.
All right.
Yeah.
It's an unpopular answer. I like it.
What about you, Ted? I think we have a few seconds before the next round.
Vikings. I think it's an easy one for me. Yeah. Ending wasn't great there either, but in general.
Yeah, it's hard to have good endings to good TV shows.
Yeah, I think so. Because people just don't want to see good things then, you know? Well
said, well said. Well,
let us know what your favorite series is in the chat as well. Your favorite Counter-Strike series, of course. 7-7, we're all tied up.
I imagine, was that your initial question?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Qualifier, first round with the M4s. They've already lost one in towards middle, which is a little bit problematic because now they can regroup the T's and just hit one of the bomb sites. Deep smoke for the split. Issue is right now, Kickdown doesn't really know if they pushed in towards red, so the B players feel pressure to make a move, and that will net them a kill, but they do lose one as well.
Well, there they go. Kifida, huge entry. Zeking was basically the last frontier for that one. Mikey is low. This makes it entirely be doable,
What?
and it's the healthiest of the two that go down. So Mikey's left. And these have got to be headshots. These have got to be swift. Oh dear, and it doesn't feel like it's a comfortable journey. He's just waving the white flag and giving it over. Qual 4. They just made a comeback in a round that didn't seem doable.
They've won another 2v4 just in front of our very eyes, and this is, it's a little bit weird how they're doing it. Kickdown just walks in towards Donut and wins 2 1v1s. It feels like there's too many opportunities for them in rounds that should be straight up unwinnable. And what can Mikey realistically do in that situation? Probably not a lot. I mean, he was panicking a little bit, but you can't really blame him. He's on 1 HP in a 1v2. He's probably thinking, what the hell, guys? How did you all die? Why did you leave me alone? How did that happen? A bunch of these rounds, these are concerning signs. Maybe we're, even if Unity 2-0 this, even if they win the map, we are seeing why they're in that tough spot that they have been in for the last couple of weeks. They are losing a lot of rounds that they shouldn't be. In a very easy way as well.
Oh dear, Zeking. He was blinded on the second half of that spray. Seems that Zaha's only good for the one here. Jordi Alice only good for one as well. Unity get the plant. If this was the other way around, I would have said Unity save. But no, Qual 4 are looking to see what they can do with this, as they've won plenty of situations worse than this. Oh, but both are locked on the other side of the smoke. Levy can try and make this one work. Flash coming through, meaning that Levy needs to find cover. Low on health now, eventually gets shot down. Too close for comfort, though. Too close for comfort.
You can tell by the reactions on Morisco's face, by the way. There's no emotion whatsoever for any of them. It just feels like it's a little bit labored. But yeah, as you pointed out, even in 2 versus 3 like this, it feels like it's completely doable. I am trying to look at some of the ways that they're clearing out position. I think the spacing is a little bit off at times. It feels like there's a moment of hesitation before the re-peaks come through, or it feels like they're far away from each other at certain points.
Do you have a favorite CS series, Ted?
A favorite CS series? A series of Counter-Strike that I would rewatch every day until the end of my days. Well,
I wouldn't say that, but you would definitely rewatch now.
Yeah, there's a couple, actually. Definitely the Boston final, the major. I would rewatch that. I think... Ooh... There is some others.
I'll tell you one and you'll agree.
I think Falcons Vitality. I think Falcons Vitality from last year. The 6-12 comeback from Vitality. This is one that I would watch again and again and again.
Okay, sure.
And then, because I have a little bit of bias, I would watch the Energy Astralis Starladder Berlin Major 2019 group stage game.
Oh,
because which one was that? That was Prime Astralis, right? They did win the major, and they did beat Energy in the semifinals after that. But in the group stage, they lost the best of 3 to Energy Astralis.
Right.
And Astralis was the best team in the world at the time, and Energy still beat them. That is a game that I really much enjoyed watching.
Okay. Yeah.
But there's a couple. I think there's a lot of series that I would rewatch. I'd rewatch the DreamHack Malmö Masters, DreamHack Masters Malmö Grand Final between Astralis and North as well.
I'll give you
another
one,
game that
and you'll
Prime Astralis
totally
lost.
agree.
Yeah.
Astralis versus Virtus Pro Atlanta Major Final.
Yeah. That's also a good shout. There's a couple.
All right, let's see this one go. Neo frag. Nice entry. Oh, double that up as well. I think he's had enough. Zacking with the chance though to shut the bomb down from moving into sight, and that is panic bells, especially with Kifid and Neofrag losing their lives. On another front, Zacking is unstoppable. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No way. It looked too damn good to be true.
They're just doing this to themselves, by the way. I don't even feel any... I don't feel remorse being critical anymore.
Mikey,
it
don't
is a
you
little
dare
bit
save.
unacceptable. It is a little bit unacceptable. He's going to give it a go. I mean, he's got a guy that's
Don't
1
you
HP.
dare save.
Is he safe?
No, he's going all the way around. He's got time. He's got a minute.
They've seen him now. He needs to play here.
Box by box. Step by step, but you've got to turn left here. Levy gets warned. Whoa, low on health. Now you have to look to the right. Both limited HP, but in the air, Mikey gets caught. Zekking, what an MVP.
Look at him dancing around laughing. He can't believe it. How many of these rounds are they going to let slip here, Unity? Look at a double entry. The bomb alone, jumping through the smoke, nothing in towards heaven. And then the moment this happens, by the way, notice how Unity just started running back. One by one, started running around and looking for fights.
Running like headless chickens is exactly why they made this term up.
Yeah, it's pure hiatus, what is happening with Unity in a lot of these rounds. It's so weird. It just feels like they can't be bothered at times.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Mm.
Oh, man. Yeah, they don't take a moment to get into the chamber of thought here, aka attack timeout. Sounds like a Harry Potter book, to be fair. Chamber of thought, chamber of secrets. Not too far off.
Yeah.
Being a frag alone on the quest to distract into the B site. Guess Qual4 didn't need distracting because they already had the majority of their players near B. Thing is, Zaha needs to be dealt with. Flash, but Kivita jumps the gun before the flash pops. And for that, a 4-for-4 with Qual4 looking to retake.
All right, Kavita's the one with the smoke in the molly. He needs to re-smoke CT, molly tempo, use your utility in the post plant. Can they win a post plant? Mission impossible.
Oh, that worked out. Muzi can't survive for more than just one.
Lose it.
HE hurts a little bit on Morisco, but the smoke, ooh, this makes it more limited. HE, lob throw, doesn't break the smoke. They don't know if it's being diffused, so panic stations for Unity.
No time.
Oh, the molly will do it. The molly will be enough to detect Qual4, and Mikey is looking at the retreat players. Kickdown cannot save. Massive round for Unity. They needed this one. Oh, it took too long, but the lead is theirs.
I'm not really sure if you can even smile at this point, but at least you're winning the rounds. A Molotov saves you. Again, you have one player on the bomb side, 3 in towards Donut, no one to support him. Uzi, nothing he could have done there. Does get forced into the fight. They get smoked off. The nade fails. It's all about the Molotov, as you pointed out. You can't even be mad at Qual4 for smoking off Donut instead of the bomb, by the way, because they knew all 3 players were in towards Donut. It just isolates everyone.
Okay. Clean up time. Morisco called up for his janitorial duties.
Hold on.
Broom and mop in hand.
It's a 2v5. This is where it gets real dangerous.
Oh, honestly, Ted.
I don't even feel like I'm taking the piss at this point. They've done it enough times for me to say it's justified.
And one time was with pistols as well, so yeah, you're right.
There you go. That's the start. Just watch. Mikey dies as well. Okay, never mind. He's fine. They've covered. They've recovered.
Yeah,
they've
this is
been
where
cured.
your prophecy days are over, Ted.
No, they have been cured by their own disease now.
They've been cured by their disease. They... Never mind.
Come up with it. Take your time.
They got diseased a second time in which their first disease got nullified.
Sure,
There's probably a
so
better way of
their
saying
disease got diseased.
Yeah, it's just like putting 2 negatives together, it becomes a positive, you know? In maths, that is.
Sure.
In real life, well... Not quite. That's quick. Woozy can't expect that. And Morisco, lightning shots. So it's back to the conversation of who can win these individual duels. Zeking for a walk here, but it seems like Kifida has got his number. That HE can hurt, but it's an aggressive play from the Unity squad, which does pay off. And now Qual4 2v4, this time with weapons and a hurt Unity side. I still consider this doable.
Of course you do. They've won so many of these already. Can't really write them off, these guys. And Levy, he's not seen anything towards middle. Dallas is not spotting anyone on A, but there was a smoke to land in towards CT spawn, so he will stay occupied for a little bit. In reality, that should be a save. Even though there's a bunch of low HP players, Levy's doing a very good job right now going exploring it towards middle, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get in towards heaven in time. I don't even feel like he's interested in that. It should just be a safe call. They've gambled A. Unfortunately, not the correct option. And looking at the money, you're probably going to be better off by just holding on to the MP9, the smoke in the molly, the M4 in the hands of Levy. Should be a 12th round.
I mean, look, even though Unity are closing in and getting things done like they were supposed to do from the very beginning, I can't help but feel sorry for Qual4 a little bit. Maybe not sorry not being the right word. I mean, they showed up in ways I didn't expect, to be fair.
I'd say they should be happy with what they've been doing so far. It's a good team performance as well. They're not getting blown out of the water. They're playing against people with a lot more experience, and they're being competitive. They're punishing Unity for the mistakes. I'd say it's... Unity had to make some more mistakes in order to lose this map. They weren't far from it, but in the end of the day, the quality of players should guarantee that they win it and take it over the line. I'd say Qual4 are just, you know, doing a good job. Putting up a good fight. Taking all the tactical timeouts, trying their absolute best to make this game as close as possible. And it has been a little bit more difficult to do on the CT side than it was on the T side. Obviously, the money game you need to pay attention to. You need to try and figure out how to stop guys like Morisco, Neofrag, and Mikey that have been just running around the map and headshotting people. And it has been very difficult for them to get a hold of the money.
So, as attack timeout depletes, when we go, Qual4, unlike their successors of the previous half, just 2 rounds gathered as the defenders. Rifles galore, part Zeking, and it's Jordalis that ends up with first blood, and kick down gets himself a freebie. Game's not done just yet. Qual4 want to enter the double digits club.
There you go. A tactical timeout. On the back of it, you go and fight middle a little bit more. You dedicate more presence in towards cave and dealing with these players that have been just running around.
Wouldn't it be
poetic?
Poetic.
Yeah.
If Unity win a 2v4 to close out the series. Well, now it has to be a 2v4. It was a 2v5. And that's why it won't be poetic, Ted.
Yeah.
Because
a 1v4 out of Mikey, though. Where were you when Mikey clutched up a 1v4 to win the map against Qual4 in the LORGAR rankings close qualifier on the 25th of March 2026?
In my dreams?
Let's find out, shall we? Come on, Mikey.
Sorry for not believing in you, mate.
Big boy Mikey.
A bit of a hard task here.
Is he saving?
Well,
don't just walk away after. Okay, he's not. Come on, Mikey. Do it.
There are 3 players nearby. Yeah, that sounds about right. Nearly a team ace for Qual4. Zeking just had to be a party pooper and get 2 kills this round.
Well, There's another one. That's the third round they've won since the start of the CT side. That's been the issue, right? They win one, but then they get reset straight after that. They haven't really been able to chain up consecutive ones, and there still is enough money for the T's to go again. Might get somewhat of a reset if they don't plant the bomb for the potentially final round of regulation. We could be going into OT still.
Yeah, that'd be funny. So, little do Unity know, no one on the other side of the smokes on red. So, Neofrag and Mikey granted free access. And passage. Oh, it's just an illusion, though.
Didn't see the second.
Here's Chordialis. I will continue to butcher that name. Oh, dear. Oh,
my
no.
God.
They don't have a clue. Now they do. Oh, Morisco, that is clean. And now Qualifier barely left with players to do anything about this. Far from one another as well. Zaha gets deleted. Morisco has found the destruct button on each and every one of those players. Unity finally get across the line. You can't say it was without its difficulties. Valiant effort from the young Romanian roster. But by the end of the day, Unity will grab map number 1.
Yeah, probably as they should have, right? A little bit of a labor affair. They finally put an end to the losing streak when it comes down to Ancient, and again, it is a bit of a difficult map for them to close out, but a good performance out of Morisco, some good moments out of Neofrag as well. I feel like these are going to be the standout moments. Some issues when it came down to closing out advantageous situations, a lot of lost clutches. In retrospect, it could have been a lot cleaner of a map, but in the end of the day, a win is a win, especially when you have so many of your individuals actually show up and play good Counter-Strike. They should be all right.
Indeed, indeed. And look, I feel like Qualifier had their chances here to show, all right, you can't just play your pugs to beat us. You need to put in all your effort, because we will punish. We will give you, you know, some firepower that you can't just deal with if you're just playing lopsidazily. So I'm really happy we got to see that. Okay, by the end, we see all the Unity players being aligned in terms of fragging, and we're seeing it on the stats reflected. Yeah, Ted, we knew this was going to always be a hard task for the Qualifier team, but I'm happy we got to see them perform to a certain level nevertheless. I think we can start discussing about potentially Inferno being where Qualifier can have a way back in. The thing is, though, that's Unity's map pick, and there are no slouches on that either.
No, absolutely not. I mean, from here on out, it probably should be going towards the direction of that 2-0 that we discussed before the start of this, but I feel like if you're a part of Qualifier, you should be quite proud of the fight that you were able to put up on map number 1, and hope to be doing more of the same on map number 2. You're looking at some of the opening kill stats as well. Sure, Dal is going toe-to-toe with Neofrag when it comes down to that stat. There was a bunch of rounds where they were able to open things up, a bunch of rounds where they were able to work their way back into 2 versus 4, get an important multi-kill in an important round as well. So yeah, these guys definitely show that they have some individual prowess. I am hoping that they will find a way to show that as well in Inferno, even though I still believe it's going to be significantly harder.
Well, folks, Inferno coming up soon, so don't miss it. We'll be back in a bit. Welcome back, beautiful people. You're watching LORGAR Rankings, brought to you by StarLadder. And we're currently one map in between Unity and Qual 4. Now, we thought it'd go the way it did, with Unity coming out on top, but it wasn't as simple as that, was it, Ted?
No, it definitely wasn't. Yeah, for a lot of you at home, and probably for us as well, going into a matchup like this one, we would expect the team that had names like Neofrag, like Morisco, like Mikey to be dominating the competition against a bunch of young Romanian players that are not really familiar with this level of competition. Map 1, however, Pavlos, was very entertaining, to be quite honest with you. There was a lot of back and forth situations, pistol rounds going 50-50, some advantageous positions that Unity were not able to capitalize on, and the individuals on the side of Qual 4 were able to take advantage of. So yeah, pretty close endeavor. All in all, Unity were able to run away with it in the end, which is probably what we expected, but a much more competitive game than what maybe the names on the server suggested.
For sure. I mean, Qual 4 came into this. The only known outcome of it is that they'd get HLTV pages. The unknown outcome was if they were able to get away with a map or series win. Unlikely on both ends, but maybe there's a map in there. Maybe they can get something done, and that's what we're here for, to see if they can break through. Because we've seen upsets before so far in the tournament. We've seen teams go down, ESC not able to make it work against some other teams as well. It was back-to-back matches that costed them this loss, because if you are just joining in and not quite sure of the format, it is double elimination group stage bracket. So basically a GSL group, right? You have 2 chances to get through, and if you don't, you don't. That's the gist of it, essentially. And look, Ted, I feel like I've enjoyed what Qual 4 had to offer, and you know, they did pick up Ancient themselves, so you could easily say, okay, they've used it for the open qualifier to get here. You know, you don't need to play best of 3 all that much to end up in that situation. Now we get to see a little bit more depth and what they're capable to do on other maps as well. You know, Inferno is one of the maps where you'd see a lot of saves, often on that CT side, but Unity got already very used to that on Ancient.
Yeah, they did. I am still thinking that this should be a little bit different, right? The Inferno for Unity has been a lot more solid in recent history. They did lose it to Metasport at the Rock Journey Spring LAN in Sweden just a couple of days ago, but they did beat them as well in the first game that they played against them, literally the same day. So you've got some wins over Metasport, G2 Ares, WW, Whitebird, 1 win, Gen 1, all of these since the start of the year. Ilwa as well in January. I feel like this is one of the maps on which we're still seeing some of the good old bazaars that Neofrag has been carrying with himself. Some of the 2021 Neofrag, you're looking at a lot of the individuals feeling a lot more comfortable. I think Inferno in general for the Czechoslovakian teams and Czechoslovakian scene has always been a very comfortable map. So expectations, probably we'll get to see much better face of Team Unity in comparison to map 1.
It looks like some of the Unity players playing in the same room as one another. Not sure.
Or Neofrag is just living with his mom and he just fist bumped her, you know.
That could also happen, like, you know, that could also be it.
Yeah, dominate them, son. Thank you, mom.
Dominate them, son. Yeah.
Thanks, ma.
Hey, the perks of that, free lunch and dinner, you know, that's always...
Well, they're not free, but the cooking might be.
Yeah, absolutely. And
no, it's the deal, yeah. Shout out to all the moms that cook for their kids.
Big legends, big legends. But as we can see the timers on the screen of the players, we are jumping into game, folks. Inferno, second map of the series. This could see Unity go upwards in the Group C bracket, meaning they only need 1 series win to continue their journey here at LORGAR Rankings. Everybody's looking at the cash prizes in store, but there's also a LAN at the end of the journey in Barcelona. That would be beautiful to go to in June. Here we go, though. Unity starting things off on the T side. Qual 4 did choose to be the CT.
Yeah, you get to go to Barcelona, not only play some good old Counter-Strike, but also see Sagrada Familia in person. La Pedrera as well. There's a lot of things to be seen in Barcelona. Right. BXX coming out.
You could get shot by water pistols as well, though.
You could, yeah. You could get shot by blocks in this round if you're on the CT side. Smoke CT failed triple molly, which is going to give a bit of a gap. Burning doesn't get a kill, so it's all good.
Yeah. Levy avenging his teammate's death. Choosing the Glock over the USP. I wonder if that's to do with the bullet capacity in the chamber. Woozy passes quickly. Unity playing in tandem with one another, staying true to their names. And with that, first blood is theirs. We got a little bit used to seeing Qual 4 winning the pistols.
Yeah, we did, right? They had some pretty decent starts. It is a good pistol coming out of Unity, though. A little bit of failed util, that Molotov. And I know it might sound a little bit nitpicky, but Unity is one of the better teams, especially in terms of name value, one of the best teams in this entire qualifier. So when we're looking at them play, the things that we're going to be critical for, or critical of, are failed pieces of util, not the most ideal and perfect spacing. You want to see clean Counter-Strike out of these guys. So stuff like that. It's not great, but doesn't necessarily mean it's going to stop them from having a dominant showing. That's a good nade. Well played by Levy.
This nade could also be just as good. Maybe even better. And again, every time we see an HE be thrown, it just gets better and better, but it's Morisco that hurts the most from it. No bullets have been exchanged, just pure explosive grenades lobbed over to the Unity side. Now, the thing is, Qual 4, they have invested into this one. They don't know how much damage has been done to their opponents. But in situations like this, B-site on Inferno is quite the fortress. You just save. You just play for exit frags.
It's very clean. It's probably one of the things that we were kind of missing on the previous map. These rounds where Unity will be able to, with no contest, actually win the round. It's not too bad for Qual 4, though. You give away the round, but you get to pretty much replay it in the next. You hold on to the 5.7s, the MP9s, you can still do a decent amount of damage. So it's not like the T's will get any free rounds. All of it will be a little bit stressful. And then you have a full buy in the subsequent. So not looking too bad whatsoever. And they will reinvest in some of that util. Eyes on the smokes. This is where it could get scrappy. Back in CSGO days when you could still not break the smokes. Just having a bunch of smokes in towards B to work with, that was pretty much enough to win you around on the CT side of Inferno. They're not as potent nowadays, but could still make things a bit more scrappy. You can still get creative with it.
Some nade damage as well this time, but more down to the mollies. Triple stack in Banana, that's what you got to look at for Qual. But this boost seems to be the answer to it instantly. Woozy being able to see over the smoke deals with two faces. And even though they're blocked off, they know they've dealt most of the damage. No follow-up after the flash, but there's no reason to hurry either. Taking their sweet time, seeing if they can make Qual 4 feel a bit angsty about their position. Smoke dissipates, Levy shoots a gauche, and eventually goes down. And with it, the site falls in the hands of the Czechian squad.
Very heavily prioritizing the B-bomb site. That's what we're noticing at the start of this. There's the second kill. This is the start of this map for the CTs. Make it 3, a 2v5. How many kills can they get? I mean, they're not winning the rounds, but this is just the or the round. This is just a half fight.
2v4, Ted. It was a 2v5 actually.
2v5, yeah. One more kill and this is good. Unfortunate. It's still good damage. I mean, they were never winning this round. Zaha can still try and catch Woozy on the way out. It's just about making this expensive.
I think Woozy just about gets away. Here we go. There's a replay. Being able to see above the smoke there. There's everything. Chipping away at the very top of the cloud as well. Gain access to the second player. Here we go. Unity have found their 3-0. Qual 4 now being able to bring in the rifles. We see Zaha equipped with an AWP. I don't think we saw too much AWPing action from either of the teams in the first map.
No, didn't get to see too much, right? Uzi, most of his moments were on the rifle. I guess you could say a similar thing for Zaha. Money situation was a little bit weird. Zeking will get that opener onto Kefita, and he was alone there. He still has Morisco on that side of the map, but not in a position to get the refrag. Trying to trade that with Banana Control. Good retake set of util. Denying the T's from finding anything in response, and Uzi nearly goes down for being a little bit too overzealous. Nice one, Mikey. Big kill.
Massive.
Nice angle. Good patience. They use the smoke that climbs on top of the wall to boost him up, so you're not really ready for him as the nade fades. And Morisco still has a lot of space. The bomb has actually made its way back in towards the A-bomb side. They'll throw a bit of a fake execution here.
It is selling it a little bit more. Qual will stay busy a little longer. A one-on-one on the other side, and they've got the information now, but Mikey will try and keep him occupied for a little longer. Doesn't last as long as he would have hoped. But the bomb will go down safely. The question is what happens here on after.
Morisco needs to step it up. Uzi's low on HP. He's got another smoke to replenish the motor one, but Morisco needs to get a little bit more aggressive and find that kill in middle.
Does he find Levy? Oh, it looked like he locked onto his head, but Levy gets there first. And Wuzzy's low, and will not be able to account for the Ferrari peak. Qual 4 show they can hang about in the retakes.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how Morisco doesn't get that kill in towards middle. It felt like he had it set up perfectly, right? He pre-aims him, he goes for the swing, counter straight flanks. Levy is just ready for it though. He was so prepared for a peak like this. And that was the opportunity. If Morisco wins that fight, then it's a 2v2 and game on. Mikey also getting found out in towards that B-bomb side. It wasn't the worst go ever. It was a good idea out of Unity. It just comes down to a bunch of fights, but Qual 4 have shown that individually they can step up to the plate every now and then. Levy with a big round. Zaha gets to hold on to the open plate again. Was the starting idea. 3 in towards B again. Not with the OP. It's just the rifles with the util.
For his play here. Mikey ends up getting one before he drops. That's surprising. That was very damn quick in terms of reactions. But Kickdown is patient enough to wait for Neofrag to re-swing. And with that, we've got the advantage. Slow peeking from Muzi. Up the AWP fight, and it's Zaha that gets ahead.
Push through the smoke. Kefita, he was actually holding for it. Still loses the fight.
What's going on? Not impossible for Morisco. He's got all of his health and the bomb. And handy Kalashnikov. What saves the day here is that the Qual 4 players are a bit isolated with one another. Kickdown will be late to find out. But now he has... Kickdown. More like Smackdown.
Yeah, very sharp in some of these fights. They are playing with confidence, by the way. That's what I like. They're not shying away from fights. They're not shying away from making plays. The Oper gets the kill onto the Oper in Boiler. And that's exactly when the Apps player decides, you know what, I'm just going to walk through the smoke. And that was just Kefita being a little bit slow, I think, on the trigger, which is unfortunate because he was holding for that play. 2 rounds now on the CT side. What started as a very intense and very dominant T-side affair is now becoming a much more competitive game again. Here, rifle in the hands of Mikey. Woozies run past him. What is going on? He's still there. What?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Just people melted that round. I think just
holy
acid
mother of
was
chaos.
thrown at them. Yeah, or some sort of crude oil that was burning. I don't know. That was
I mean, just look at the first guy. Woozy. Look at Woozy. Look at him. What is that? What even is that?
And 3 of the kills were due to grenades, by the way.
Yeah.
Change of approach for Unity. Wanting to go very quick into the A site. Successful with the first pick. Still having to deal with Zekking hiding. Whew. There is some sharp shooting coming out from Quad 4. And it stopped Unity in their tracks. Bomb left. Ooh, Woozy taking down his own teammate in the process. That's got to hurt. 2v3 now. Bomb collected. But I think Mikey's got to do a lot in that position. Patience. It will pay off. But Zaha scoped in here. There are no chances. Holy moly, they are quick. Woozy can hear the approach. How many can you find? 2 is already more than what we'd expect, but damage is done, and Qual 4 get ahead.
What happened? Was Kefita killed because while he was dropping, he lined up? Did they line up with the player that was on their balcony? Was that the case? Did he just drop right in front of him?
When he's dropping? That could be it as well.
I think so. I think they might have lined up for Uzi. Let's see. Yeah. He just killed both of them. That's not Uzi's fault. Yeah, that's just unfortunate. That's just a bit... It's a bit wild. Okay. Qual 4 started this one 0-3 and now they're 4-3 up. I don't really know how that's possible. I don't really know why they're still winning rounds and they look that good, but they are. Another very pacey one, but Zaha's ready once again.
He might as well be off the Death Note anime because he's writing names one after the other.
He's destroying them. He's not missing shots. He's not phased by the speed. Unity are just trying to brute force their way through, trying to just shoot them down. But they are getting dominated. Look at Zaha go. 4-piece against the pistols. It's not an easy thing to do when they have the armors, the Tech 9s, and the U2, and they're just running, trying to run you down. Look at that. He's almost instant with the shots.
Oh, you can hear the tactical timeout music coming out, and I'm not surprised. Unity needing a breather after this, being destroyed for a few rounds in a row. Just the cooler. And I feel like it's just... Look, Unity are playing a very quick style of Counter-Strike right now. Thing is, Qual 4 are ready for it each and every time. They've got the mechanics for it. And I think that's caught Unity by surprise.
Yeah, I think it's catching all of us by surprise. The first map was close, sure. This one should have been a little bit more comfortable. A bit more well controlled. Not really the case. Alright. What more can you do? Qual 4?
Ow.
You can do that. That's a really well placed nade right on top of Uzi.
For any Greeks in the house, do this, do that, read a book. It's tough. So, completely laying low here for Unity. Qual 4 have blocked out all entrances, but have provided some space near short. But it's a bit of a funnel, isn't it? Or a kick down and Zekking, eyeing that down. Zaha forced further back. We're going to lob the HE for the smoke. No, just going for chip damage.
I think he wanted to break the smoke. Pretty sure it just failed. And that's the bomb out of News, right? He will be able to get the kill, and Zekking's got a no man's land.
Oh my god, the reactions on Zaha. I think he expected someone to appear further away from the screen, but instead someone point blank appeared.
Q clear.
Oh, no. Oh, dear me, Zaha. You had a wonderful round a moment ago, but this time we'll have to fall flat.
I think that might have been a misclick there. I don't think you want to double zoom on this angle, not consciously. Not on purpose. They still have a lot of money, though. They can give this one a bash.
They made it work from further behind, but I think Dallas is way too far away. Levy trying to be sneaky about that one, but no. Mariska turns around in time. Unity restoring order. Yeah, I think in this time, we finally see Unity winning their entries. It's been a bit of a drought. 5 rounds of not being able to do that. Eventually getting one across the board. And that came off of their tactical timeout. Woozy back onto warping duties. Head-to-head with Zaha, which Zaha has seen more success in. This time, both will relent.
Speed again. Again towards middle. Again, Mariska with the opener around the smoke. Zekin's low on HP. He should be a dead man walking, especially with the nade. He's actually moving forward.
They don't expect this.
Madness.
And that's the type of thing that catches you off guard, though, isn't it, Tech?
God. What a smoke. He wanted to smoke Moto. Now he failed the smoke because that wasn't a lineup. He just threw it. And they know no one's crossed on A, so they're just gonna hold on to this. That fake did nothing.
Yikes.
They are ready. They're here.
And having the AWP where it is right now doesn't have the chances either. That is a tremendous boost. That helps their case massively. And the second is also handed their death sentence. Zaha blocked off. Fully covering even boost. Two Unity players gone looking, actually. Hey, imagine if Zaha ends up with a double and a defuse. That'd be funny.
He doesn't have a defuse kit. That's the issue, right? Both kits are dropped in towards Banana. So fair. Even if he does get these kills, it's going to be difficult. And now they should have heard the scope. People are not moving. They've not heard it. Uzi's missed. Seen him. Now they know.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go here for Zaha. You've even got players on the lurk. Multiple directions covered. Quick 1-2. And equilibrium restored. Looking at the cam. I don't know if he was actually looking at the cam.
No, he was looking at somebody else. He was looking at someone behind him. Yeah.
But it really felt like, oh, did you guys see that? did you guys see me? Well, if you guys are seeing the stream, you're seeing the LORGAR peripherals and PCs and gaming equipment showing up on the screen. Go ahead and check them out. Get yourself a nice upgrade and S, by the way. What's next, though, here for Unity? They've got a nice 1-2. What? Kavita finds both of them? I want to see that one in replay. That is absolutely ridiculous. How did he even get away with that?
Hold on. Hold your horses. Boom. Okay, never mind. They've won the round. Yeah, we can keep admiring Kavita now. That was out of this world. That was actually ludicrous. Replayed that again and again and again and again. The in-game leader stepping up.
You've got an AWP player playing a far-off angle, and then you've got someone point blank to the right, and it seems like you kill both of them in tandem. I don't know how that happens. Anyway.
He just flicked. Spray transfer galore.
Something like that.
I guess we'll see it on the replay. We've had some very good highlights over the course of the last couple of days. I mean, yesterday, the Rifler 1v4 on Nuke. You've seen some very crisp shots here as well. Actually, quite important for them to hold on to the guns. They don't have a lot of money. And sure, Dallas is doing his best, but it's just a 1-for-1. Mariska is looking snappy.
Yeah, they've warmed up. Okay. What?
Yeah, patience.
Patience, child.
You bloody casters. Look at that. Boom.
The thing is, Zaha had that angle covered, but he had that swing.
Yeah. All right. One last round of the first half. Qual 4. Not a lot of money, as we pointed out, after losing the guns in the previous ones. They are working with a bunch of SMGs. Uzi's caught a timing to go out middle, and Marisco sneaked out as well, meaning Kickdown won't be ready for it. Zaha has been taken down as well, and there's just one player left in towards that A bomb side. It's the MP9 in towards the apartments, but the bomb is already making its way back here. Rotations need to come on time, but it's either Zekin going absolutely nuclear or the round going in favor of Unity. It feels like now he's been spotted. First kill confirmed. Second player spotted in towards the apartments as well. Zekin might actually be able to do something with this, but he's just losing teammates like flies.
You're right. Teammates are swatted. Maybe Dallas has got something to say about this. Never mind. Zekin's position is discovered now. But he's jumping up and down, moving around, going through smokes, trying to bring in the element of surprise. But it looks like this half was all about chains. 3 in a row for Unity. Then Qual brings 5 out of the bag. And then closed out with a double by the Czechian squad in the end. Interesting stuff overall. Even though it's been somewhat back and forth. Currently, it's Unity that seem to be firing first and quickest.
It's very difficult to quantify a game like this because I think it is a bit unfair towards Unity, because even if they win in a 2-0 fashion, we're still going to be critical of them because we don't really expect a lot out of the young guys, right? But it's still more competitive than what you would hope it to be. And we can't stress that enough. But hey, these guys, we're talking about Qual 4. They're still holding their own. Not looking too bad. Zaha with a couple very good moments. As, you know what is the thing to do in a situation like this, Pavlos? Is to just check the elo of the team. So Zaha is a 3.775 elo, number 13 in Romania. Apparently, Qual 4 is playing ESA at main, not even advanced. They're playing main, and they're 7-7 in main. So this is quite a big deal for them. We're talking about Zeking, by the way, is 2.8k elo.
Oh.
Which is quite low. I mean,
it is. Well,
there is tier 1 players that are that elo as well because of the resets, but that's because they don't play FACEIT. I'd assume he plays a bit more.
You would assume that, wouldn't you?
So this is a very big deal for these guys. But Kickdown, for example, is 3.8, which is
okay,
respectable. Yeah, Zaha's 20-year-old, a 20-year-old hybrid Oper is what his profile says.
Okay.
Levy, his FACEIT bio is just it's over. That's the FACEIT bio. It just says it's over.
It's trophy, guys.
I think he's 20 as well. Yeah, he's a fan of Attack on Titan. That's what I'm finding out. They do have a coach as well. Kickdown doesn't really have too much of information on him. I think he's 19. That's what his Steam profile says. Yeah.
Well,
and Jordalis, no information on FACEIT. On Steam, you can't really find out a lot about him.
Fair enough.
His name is Alessandro.
Alessandro died.
Yeah.
On the server in game. Yeah, that has been discovered now as well. Nade locked underneath his legs. And that should do it. Back-to-back rounds for Unity, and this one's a clean one. Not dropping a single player is important. especially on the CT side, and now mounting up some lead. Yeah, most of the kills going to the MP9s. So how about that for an upgrade in cash? Quad 4 pistols now. So Unity on the precipice, on amounting to double the amount of rounds Qual would have accumulated.
Yeah, should be a clean, nice couple anti-ecos. There is the Eagles on the other side, unarmored ones, no utility either. So who's racking up the eco kills? That's the main question. It's Mikey. It's Woozy. It's all of them.
You think?
It's not Mikey. It's definitely not Mikey. Yeah. Poor guy.
I mean, even the rounds that Unity has won, there have been some fairly close ones in there. I think, well, no matter the result of this match and series, should be very proud of what they've accomplished, and I'm sure they can gain quite a bit to go back to the drawing board. Use that for their future games. They still have a chance at the tournament, don't they? Lower bracket waiting in case it's needed. Which does look like a possibility more and more at this point, and indeed double digits collected. 2x Quad 4 score.
At least we get to see them play another buy round. One more at least. They probably will have a couple. See what they have on offer in towards that T side. Once they have the AKs in hand. Money on the CT side has been strengthened up as well, so it won't be easy to reset them from here on out. And they still have these MP9s, which means, well, they have, oh yeah, 2 of them, meaning they might go down banana and try and be a little bit more fierce about this one. Risco's fighting second mid. And he's dead.
Woozy can hear all of them approaching. It's called the team over, but Quad 4 finding a lot of success on the entries. And even though a lot of damage is done, it's still a 1v3. Now, I wouldn't call this impossible, but if Neofrag doesn't find one quickly, then things get more and more tough, because look at where Quad 4 are repositioning. All across apartments. Different nooks and crannies taken. Neofrag spotted ahead, and there he goes. 1 down, 2 to go. Dallas, if a speck of dust hits him on the head, he'd fall with that health on him. But yeah, looking to not take the chance, saving up an M4, heading to the next one. No time to risk.
Is he hunting? Dallas shouldn't be running like this, knife out. Yeah, he's just sacrificed himself. He's lost the full belt of utility and an AK. And he's, well, I will actually rephrase that. He's donated an AK to Neofrag if he wants to pick it up. And he will. Utility as well. It's not a bad round for the CT side. I mean, the speed was good. Qual 4 with some pretty decent refrags. You can see that every single player of Unity that gets a kill just gets instantly shut down by the second player. But getting those 2 kills in the end is actually quite vital for Neofrag. That was just a bit of a bonus round for Unity. And now they have an AK. They have everyone on the rifles, the full util, the OP is out. And then you're looking at the T-side economy. One of the players is even downgraded to a Mac 10. That's Levy in order to have that extra piece of utility.
She could hurt for Neofrag. Oh, no,
good angle. Flash.
Still gets a bit shaky, but I think Neofrag will be happy with getting away with his life there.
Yeah, especially considering the first player was playing anti. Dallas was red team. Marisco
what? Why?
actually just went out. Yeah, he got stuck somehow. That was a very weird mechanical display.
Did he get stuck, or did he just want to double peek and got greedy with it?
I mean, even if you want to double peek, you jiggle, you go back, you turn around, and then you peek towards the left. He just went out, looking left, and turned around before moving. You know, he stood at one place. So he essentially made himself very easy to kill.
Mm-hmm. Damn right. So the scales are even. Kafida on the hot seat now. Reinforcements arriving quickly, and Kifida's giving them nothing, wanting to have full forces for this retake. It's the right decision to make, but Qualifier have fortified in. Looking to see if they can chip away with Naze at first.
They're saving.
Oh, man.
I don't dislike it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. They have one diffuse kit, which is enough, but Neofrag is low. Woozy's on a nope. They don't have a single smoke, nor a single Molotov or an HE. It is risky. Money's good, but with that safe, and especially with the lead that you have, you're just going to give yourself so many more chances to close. And you're not risking getting a reset, even if you are losing the rounds, because, you know, the loss bonus is amping up, so you are getting even bonus cash as we're speaking. It is a good decision. They didn't need to rush it.
Ooh, is he back on AWP duties?
They're playing in some very dark rooms. I know this is something that we've talked about with a lot of players, but I don't really know how they do it. All of them. So many of them.
Does it eliminate distractions?
Nah, man. Nah.
About that. Okay.
You're eliminating your eyesight. That's what you're doing. I just feel old because I can't do it anymore, and they can.
Well, I'll tell you what Woozy can do. 2 picks without a trade, without taking any damage. Already finding impact on the big green, and he only just got it.
Yeah. First time he actually does decide to take a little bit of initiative, right? He was a little bit more supportive in the last couple of rounds. This time he goes for some picks. They work out well. B-bomb side on Inferno, still the targeted area, even in a 3v5. First kill goes their way. Mikey's been heard.
They know.
It's very audible. At least he's got a molly.
Let's question that one later. Back to Kifida. They know where he is. Oh, but he's able to find one. Jordalis turns around on time, but he's on his own, and with a very limited amount of health points. Let's look towards Cathedral, but still bomb needs to get planted. Limited in time, 32 seconds to be exact. And he is given absolutely nothing. But a bullet to the heart by the end. Woozy with a triple.
I wonder if it's just understanding of timings and how certain situations could work that are stopping Unity at times. It just feels like they're a bit distracted with some of these situations, even when they do win the rounds. Unfortunate timing there for Neofrag. I still feel like when you have a 3-man stack into worst B and there's no pressure whatsoever on A, and you might know these guys are here, this was a little bit rushed, and Mikey was just doubting how he should approach the situation. Kafida saves them. Saves them big time with a double kill.
Yeah, I'm glad we got the replay operator doing his thing, giving us some extra context to that mid kill as well, the boost. Thank you for that. Big applause to the production team. But yeah, there's not much in it here for Unity. There's 2 more, and Qualifier, I think they're facing some economical difficulties. They know they mustn't make their lives too difficult for themselves. Focusing in on what the task is at hand. Right, we're getting to see some replays from earlier in the game, up to this point.
And for the newer audience, these are the moments when what we do is we give you a quick resume, a quick abridgment on where you are, where we are, and what is to come in the future. So
did I just wake up from a coma? What year is it? Where am I?
Yeah, basically. The year is 2026. Thank you very much. And this is the 6th day of the LORGAR ranking season 1 close qualifier. Of course, all of this is brought to you by StarLadder and LORGAR. This is Group C of the close qualifier. We've got a group stage leading to a double elimination bracket play-in and 4 spots for a LAN event, a $50K LAN event in Barcelona, Spain. On the 25th and 26th of April. We've got Kaleshi, Rottweilers, Inner Circle Academy, and Mixed Skies that are already in the play-ins out of Groups A and B. This is the opening matchup of Group C, Unity taking on Qual 4. And this is the one and only best of 3 for today. We've got 3 of them lined up for tomorrow. We're going to start it off with the Basement Boys taking on Bondi. Then there's Astral taking on DALUYONG. And then there's HYPERSPIRIT playing against Drama. So we've got the other game out of Group C and both games out of Group D. And all of this will keep happening daily until the 10th of April. We've got the group stage. Then we're going to take, I think, a slight break between the 29th of March when the groups end and the 6th of April when the play-ins start. It's going to be around a week-long break. Then we have the play-ins. 4 teams go to Barcelona. 4 more get invited via VRS. And yeah, that's basically it. And Neofrag is contemplating his life choices right now.
Yeah, he's either wiping sweat or crying. I imagine it's the first.
Or maybe he's just screaming.
Yeah, this is where tech pauses. You realize they're not fine. Yeah, I mean,
it's the type of a laugh that makes you wonder if he's all right though, because it's you know that expression where you're laughing and you're like, oh man, what the hell is going on around me?
What are we doing here? It's a freaking tech pause, man. What do you do during tech pauses?
What am I doing during tech pauses?
Yes.
Well, I've had a limited amount of experience with tech pauses when I was playing years ago. And usually, because you're not allowed to speak during tech pauses, if you're playing LAN, that is, sometimes, obviously, online Counter-Strike, you can speak. We would speak, but eventually you just get tired and you just lay there and you're praying for it to be done. You know?
Praying for it to be over.
Once I just used the time to eat. I just had some food and we had like a 15-minute tech pause and I just had dinner.
Thankfully this time that's not the case.
Yeah.
Just a couple of minutes.
I mean, I did it in front of the PC, obviously. I didn't go to the other room, but...
Oh, for sure, yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. If you have a snack, you can use that for, you know, eating. That is if you're not the player with the issues.
And there's nothing you can do about it because the grid is out and you don't have any electricity. Then, yeah, what else can you do? Here we go. First blood for Neofrag, free firing onto his smoke and gets given a second. Instead, no, that's Woozy showing his impact. Getting closer and closer to that ribbon, to the finish line.
Using the Matrix. Looking very good in towards Banana towards the last couple of rounds. Woozy as well, 21-9 now. For the youngest guy on the team. Alongside Mikey, of course. Kick down, gap. Not really there. And towards the apartments, he's going to get shut down. His teammate spotted. Might be better to just call this one off. I know they don't want to do it. They don't want to save in a 2v5 with 1 minute left, but probably was the better option. Might as well just keep on feeding them kills, though. Neo with another. Woozy spotted the bomb carrier, and he will have the kill just about now. 12-7. This should be curtains. It was good while it lasted for Qual 4.
does indeed. We've got to appreciate many moments. And look, they still could provide us something here. But far from optimal in terms of firepower. Let's have a look. Early molly. And they don't fall victims. The double Ichi and banana. Instead, lay low for a little while, but what Qualifier really focused on in this one is their investment into utility. That they've got plenty of, so they don't mind just taking a gander for a little bit. But they are posturing for potential A hit here.
That's a good Molotov. You have a flash for Mikey to go deeper? Oh, he'll do so without it. This is very risky.
I don't know about this.
One kill is still good enough. Probably should have been dead straight away.
There's a free AK lying around now. That's a massive change in weaponry. Flash for Neofrag to look out. No one around. At least not to his knowledge. 38 seconds. Call for rotations. And Qualifier slowly making their way into long. Do they force some spawn? It looks like it. That's what they're doing.
Oh, Baxter.
But the timing is rough. Kiff it up. Gets there on time. Levy does have the bomb. Does have Jordalis near him to help. But Neofrag can hear everything going on right now. The opponent's not being too quiet about it, waiting for Jordalis to be an optimal side of his screen. And there you go, doubles up by the end, 13-7. That was a little bit more straightforward than the previous. So job's done for Unity, but one more series to go for them if they want to be qualifying and moving onwards here at the LORGAR rankings. And thankfully, it's not the end of Qual4. We'll be seeing a little bit more of them before they do get eliminated, if they do, at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they do in the second game, right? Because obviously I think they did just now play against the toughest team in their group, and they were able to still put up a fight against Unity, punish them at times. It was obvious that, you know, it was a little bit more difficult when you're just freestyling a lot of it, and you are a team that's on ESEA main level. But considering that there was a couple of very good moments, Levy still carried on with a good performance on the second map, but it was all Woozy and Neofrag's show here on Inferno.
Yeah, it was. We're getting to see some of the stats, and you are seeing exactly why Woozy and Neofrag showed up the most. We did see Woozy on the rifle many a times, but now we also got to see his AWP prowess towards the end of the game, right? A lot of movements made early doors, trying to gain advantages, some boosts here and there, influential all across the board. Good to see the variety that Unity can bring to the table in terms of style of play and how they like to place their players, and Woozy showing us that repertoire. Ted, I was pretty impressed by Qualifier overall. Sure, they didn't manage to get a map across the line, but a few moments of glamour, of hope. They were leading the first half of Ancient in the first map. So yeah, for me, I've got hopes for these guys. They could do some damage for any team not expecting it.
No, I absolutely agree. I mean, I think they are in a tough group as well, because no matter who they're playing up against, there's a lot of difficult players to be, you know, going up in the server against. Basement Boys and Bondi being the other two teams. And even though Bondi is a mixed team, you've got a lineup with Smuya and Magilla as well. A bunch of familiar names. Basement Boys, obviously one of the teams that we're valuing pretty high in this, or pretty highly in this group as well. So I don't think they found themselves in a group where they will be given a lot of opportunities, but it is all about just playing these games, trying to make them as close as possible, get as many maps in as you can, learn from these experiences, see that these people that, you know, you've watched play on a much higher level don't really shoot that much higher than you or harder than you, but there's a bunch of other things that are stopping you from reaching their level, and just use this as an extra bit of motivation.
On another note, Group D is also something that we'll be taking a look at from the following day, starting from tomorrow. So if you'll be tuning in, make sure you do have a look at ASTRAL, DALUYONG, HYPERSPIRIT and Drama eSports all try to make it out of their group, double lead and bracket, all just like the rest. And Ted, earlier you did mention that this will be quite the difficult one, right? Some difficult group in terms of level of play between all of them. The schedule is on your screen. Starting from 2 p.m. CET, the games will begin with Basement Boys taking on Bondi. But Ted, I feel like tomorrow having 3 matches, not something that we're used to here at the LORGAR rankings. We usually have 2, but today we're limited to 1, and some schedule shuffling caused that 3rd match to be brought in tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be a full day of action, right? It's going to be a bit of a marathon, something that I think we're a little bit even more used to in online Counter-Strike, because we've been taking it very chill with the LORGAR rankings, close qualifiers so far, just getting the 2 best of 3s per day. Most tier 2 and tier 3 online Counter-Strike actually happens with a lot more. So I think tomorrow we're going to get the full-on experience of online European CS, where we get to see so many different teams.
Indeed.